Yeah.
Well, generally I agree with that. And the way he says it sometimes comes off sounding a little paternalistic.
It's like, what the hell does he know about it?
In a way, that's kind of true. And then he says very supportive things about women, but then he kind of erases it by the long sentence. Like, he taught women for 38 years at Sarah Lawrence, and he said he's kept in touch with many of his students because you could tell the ones that were free to live their own lives because they're very different people than the ones that, kind of were under the thumb of their husbands. The way he words it is, you can tell the cases in which their husbands allowed them to be their own person.
Oh, what an asshole.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like he's right about some of the stuff, but the way he puts it is sort of like putting the person. Really fascinating, very spiritual. So did you think any more about all that spiritual junk he talked
Yeah, I
about?
was going to ask you about that guy's,
Yeah, I went to see him last week.
how to get a hold of him or whatever.
Didn't I give you his number?
No, you said you were
Sorry, I've got
going
it
to.
with me. I'll just write it down. Yeah, he's a pretty neat guy. Yeah, I'll tell you maybe on the way home. I'll tell you some thoughts about how I try to apply him to my life in the future. Quite seriously.
Yeah.
He won't stop. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get one flower to replace here, honey. What? That flower arrangement at the color shop. One of them needs. Did you just take it down yesterday? Huh? Didn't we just take it down yesterday? Yeah, one of the flower salesmen called wanted to replace it. We're hiding up here.
Like, I hope you're not looking for, like, sound with this.
No, we're not.
No, you're not getting this.
No, we already we got your mom on tape. She was great. What are you taking her to?
She's going into 5th grade. And she's kind of basic math learning and stuff. And she's all excited here, so that's good. Yeah. But he doesn't find any answers on it. Well, something that he needs. Yeah, that's fine. He likes Well, I want to be a teacher of math. A piano. He doesn't have a note. He wants to actually take classes.
Well, he wants to be love you. Thank you. We're
Thank
just
you,
fine.
yeah.
Don't worry about us.
Good.
If I don't see you, I'll be in touch. And we've got him committed. I'll call him and
You and I have a
confirm.
meeting. Don't we have a meeting with
The
Deborah
18th.
the 18th? Okay.
I gotta, I'll consider that confirmed, and I will confirm with her, you know, get in touch with her, and, I will, call Tom and tell him he's confirmed for that date.
What were we gonna say?
Great, excellent, thanks a lot, Christine.
Yeah. Good. I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks then.
Thanks so much for your time.
I'd rent out my own house. Is it small?
It's one bedroom and small kitchen. I don't think it's got a washer or dryer. You gotta bring laundry up and down.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
You can throw it on the tram. You can send stuff up and down, just not people.
Because of the weight.
Well, it's really old, and I don't think my mom trusts its safety and doesn't want to risk a life on it.
Groceries, laundry.
Yeah. But it's a cute place, and the guy who's down there before, the woman who's in there right now, was there for like 7 or 8 years.
She told me, yeah, she mentioned it. Yeah, I was there for that one, and she just rented it out when I was here the last time. Probably a little bit. Just thought, water is so great.
And it's really quiet down there. In the summer, you know, you get a fair bit of boat traffic going by, but that's not a big
Well,
deal.
I think I could suck.
I know. Tough it out. Yeah, but the guy who's down there before would like never mow the lawn, and so there was huge plants that looked like they came out of some, you know, prehistoric dinosaur age.
Did it look neat or not?
It looked kind of cool, but it looked really run down. This is wonderful because it's a dock. You can go swimming off of it. She works for some coffee distributor company because, along with the rent checks, we get these big, like 5-pound bags of ground coffee. That that's pretty dope.
think I'm gonna make you guys move again.
Okay. Just holler if you want to, ask about any plants or want me for anything. I'm just trying to keep out of the way.
I had a tape on this one.
Okay. Those Nephofia, the little spiky guys that are really pale, those are a nice drought-tolerant plant.
I think that's what I'm on right now, with the
Okay.
little beady flowers.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the daylilies.
What is it? What's the herbal at? Oh.
It's an immunosystem booster.
Oh, that stuff.
Yeah.
My piano teacher recommends a little bottle of echinacea drops.
I use it.
It tastes so.
I believe it.
Personally, it's something where, like, I'm really tired and I have to go to sleep. I'd rather have something that knocks me out. It's like,
You don't have to.
just kind of stuff. No, I usually, I don't have that often, but I do like being out. Like, actually, this way, it's cool for fall. Oh, I've been
I like, my favorite spots are the entry around that arbor. I think those are beautiful. Would lend themselves to sort of nice kind of groupings because they're kind of self-contained.
Yeah.
If you've got the time and the film and the appetite, I'm totally up for it. I don't have anything else.
Watching the ATM machine. While they were there, a gentleman came up to use the ATM machine, and a suspect came up and approached him, threw him against the wall, and it was obvious that he was being robbed, just like all the other incidents. The two uniformed officers immediately attempted to intervene and prevent the robbery and apprehend the suspect. The suspect, who was approaching and handling the victim, took off running northbound on Stone Way. The two uniformed officers put the information out on radio, so the other stakeout officers came in to assist. The other officers saw a second suspect who is acting as a lookout for the robber, and two detectives chased that person in their vehicle and were able to apprehend him in a different area. The robber that had been at the ATM with the victim was northbound on Stoneway, being pursued by the two uniformed officers, who were yelling at the suspect to stop several times, told him that they were the police. The suspect clearly matched the descriptions that we had in the other robberies in terms of clothing and being a black male of a certain age, or African male of a certain age. The officers could not catch up to the suspect. He was running very fast. He was getting away from them. The officers felt that he presented a clear danger to the community. He had committed a first-degree robbery, or several. One officer fired 2 rounds at the suspect, who was then apprehended. The officers attempted to render aid to him, medical aid. Medic unit took him to Harborview, and the detectives were called to process the scene. The detectives recovered 2 different devices that were obviously intended to appear to be weapons. They generally match the description of the weapons that the victims had reported earlier, and I have digital photos of these two items. From the manner that they appear, we believe that the suspects held them in their hands, covered by the wool caps, so that they wouldn't be seen by the victim until they approached. The victims in the previous robberies reported that they felt a sharp object in their back. This victim last night said that he felt that he was going to die. The suspect told him, "I'm going to kill you." So we've recovered both of those, and they match the other descriptions. We also are interviewing witnesses and have we're trying to determine the identity of the suspect that was shot. He's in Harborview right now in critical condition. The officer that did the shooting is Officer William Gohagan. Normally, our department does not release the names of the officers involved in shootings until 12 hours after the incident. It has been over 12 hours at this time. Officer Gohagan is a 31-year-old. He has been with SPD for 8 years. He's currently assigned to the Special Patrol Unit, and he was formerly assigned in the Training Unit and in Patrol. He's never been involved in a shooting in the line of duty. Very good question. It's Geoghagan, and we're going to be passing out some information about this incident and the previous robberies for you shortly. All right. Gohagan. It's Geoghagan. William. G-A-N. Common spelling. Caldwell. And the officer has been placed on administrative reassignment. There will be a shooting review board in the next few days to review the circumstances of the shooting.
You called it officer reassignment, administrative reassignment?
Correct.
And you're saying that the officer shot the suspect in the back as he was running away?
We don't know at this point. We haven't got the medical records to show where he was actually shot.
But he was fleeing.
He was running northbound, and the officers were pursuing on foot behind him.
They believe that if he was allowed to escape, that he presented enough danger to them.
He clearly did. These suspects in these robberies have done 11 now. We were under the impression that there was a handgun. Every victim said there was either a handgun or a handgun intimated.
So Cindy, if it wasn't a gun, what was it that they had?
These are called paint guns. They attach to a hose. It looks like a hose nozzle is what I would call it. But the way they appear, especially in nighttime and poor lighting conditions, this would appear to be a handgun to the victim and also the officers. And the way the suspects carried them and concealed them, they clearly intended these to be thought of as a gun.
Did the suspect show the device or reach the device while fleeing from the officer last night?
The officer never saw the suspect drop a weapon and did not see one in his hand. What he did see was the suspect physically next to the victim up against the wall. And we have been working with the banks on these cases since the very beginning and have collected the ATM photos. And in those photos, you can see that the suspect has his hand right in, and you can see a metal object right in the back of the victims. And this victim last night had said that he had felt a hard object in his back.
When the suspect was shot and brought down, this device was found on him, or where was it found on him?
The device was found on the shelf of the ATM. So the suspect had dropped it immediately. We believe that he dropped it immediately after the robbery occurred.
And the other suspect had the other one?
The other suspect that took off on foot that was arrested by the detectives, he had jumped over a 3-foot wall and gone down into some berry bushes and was arrested there. And right in those bushes was found this red cap with the paint gun right in there. And it was right next to where he was. The detectives that were chasing him on foot could tell that he had something in his hand as he was running away from them. And they were worried that he was going to turn on them and shoot them. So they had their weapons drawn and were ordering him to stop, and he didn't stop till he fell down in the bushes. Unfortunately, we were able to catch him. So
Was there a third suspect? Who did that last night?
we have a witness that is giving us information, but I would not call that a suspect at this time.
Was that particular bank staked out or not, the one where this happened last
Yeah,
night?
that's where we're focusing all of our attention on, that ATM at that bank.
At what point, if there's been this string of ATM robberies, normally, or in the past, we've been notified as the media to let the public know that there could be a threat or there could be a risk out there. Why was that not done?
We worked with the banks right away to notify them, and in these incidents, we didn't have a clear description of a suspect or a vehicle to give out to the public. ATM machines are common places that robberies occur. We've had recent ones in Bellevue. The public is aware that ATMs can be a dangerous place. And at this point, we wanted to try to catch them in the act and arrest them and stop it. We didn't feel we had enough to go to the public yet.
This was
Weigh
just
the
a second
concern-
attempt at that.
Did you weigh concerns about possible risk to the public if they weren't warned that there was somebody that you believed to be armed?
If we warn the public right now, there are thousands of ATMs in the community. And go ahead, Clark.
Well, this is always a very difficult judgment to have to make, and the problem with any kind of premature disclosure is that it might change the pattern of the individual. We don't want escalating violence or a different area of town, for example, that this person now shifts to, the suspect shifts to. We're working with the banks, and we are obviously on an ongoing basis providing information about ATM safety, particularly during this holiday season. We were, erring on the side of attempting to apprehend this person because the danger of him shifting to a different location or even using greater violence obviously is a public safety concern as well. I think, as it turns out, we did a fairly good job of identifying plausible areas where this individual might strike, because in point of fact, we had the circumstance of confronting and attempting to apprehend him. But it's a very difficult decision we have to make, and with the 5,000 ATM machines in this area, and with the fact that we do spend an awful lot of time, both with the banks and in our own crime prevention efforts, educating the public about general safety, which should be present regardless of whether there is a pattern of robbery or not. We decided to attempt to apprehend this individual. The next step very well may have been, and probably likely would have been, a general education campaign, in which case, likely as not, either A, the person would have changed their pattern, or B, we would have not been able to apprehend him. So.
Was it unnecessarily risky for the victim last night to allow it to the point where he was?
Actually, the intervention by the officers was immediate. This happened in the course of maybe 4 or 5 seconds. And the very second that it became clear to the officers that the individual at the ATM was a potential victim of a robbery, they sprang into action. And their first concern, obviously, was protecting the victim.
Are you concerned about any fallout now? This was an African-American victim shot by police once again. What your, of course, steps entered your minds?
We've been in touch with our community leaders, and Chief Krolkowski and Chief Bailey, Chief Metz have all had personal contact with many of the leaders of the community. We've been very forthright in explaining the circumstances. We are obviously very respectful of the concerns of the community, and we will take whatever steps we need to assure them that what we were investigating here, what we were dealing with here, was a violent predatory criminal who probably didn't care himself who was his next victim. And I trust the community to understand that we are all in the business of attempting to protect the innocent and to reduce victimization.
White officer?
Not to,
Excuse me?
White officer?
Yes, sir.
not to belabor the point, what was just said about this was a dangerous predatory criminal who constituted a very real and present threat. The flip side would be, gosh, maybe we should have been warned, particularly since we had him in such a small area. What time of day were all these at?
Various times of the day, and some in the morning, most of them in the evening hours. And, I mean, I have to return to my kind of original commentary on this, and this is a decision that public safety agencies have to make every day. That is, do we protect the citizens by attempting to apprehend somebody and to eliminate the threat, or do we force them underground and, or change their patterns? And among the change in patterns can be an increase in violence, an increase in predation, moving to a different area and being more violent in their conduct. Again, that's a judgment call, and the judgment we make obviously is always on behalf of the citizens. And for our citizens, apprehending a violent suspect is among the things that works the best.
Was an officer in a uniform who did fire that shot?
He was in his duty uniform, which is a raid jacket marked by police identifiers and body armor, but the appropriate markings were to identify him as a police officer.
And any tie to the Bellevue case, any chance these Bellevue ATM robberies could be the same?
We're obviously taking a look at that linkage. I haven't seen a connection yet, but obviously we're going to be contacting all the other jurisdictions in the area to see if there are any similarities or connections.
What do you know about this person so far? Age, his identity of either of the two people you have?
The individual that was shot,
Yeah, or
we haven't confirmed for sure who he is, but tentatively we believe that he's a black male or African-American male that was born in 1985. Mhm.
Are you confident that these are the same people who did all of them?
We don't know that for sure yet. We'll be analyzing the evidence that we found, prints, DNA, witness information, clothing that we recovered to match to the photographs that were taken at the ATM machines.
Have you ever used police decoys instead of doing stakeout?
We've never done police decoys for robberies. But
what about the
Wondered if
accomplice?
yeah, regarding the accomplice, any possibility that he may have done some of the robberies as well? Or, first of all, ID, if you were asking, ID on the accomplice, and any chance that he was not doing just a
in the pattern and trends sheet that you will be getting copies of, some of the victims saw two suspects. But last night's incident, the victim would not have seen the other suspect because he was acting as a lookout. So we believe that there probably was usually two, trying to tie, if he was acting as a lookout, he would be guilty of the robbery as well as accomplice.
Did the photos show two suspects at any time at one robbery?
I don't believe so.
I think there was just one in the photos because they're right by the machine. They're close-ups, so.
Is administrative leave and reassignment different? Usually, we're accustomed to an officer being on administrative leave.
Yeah.
You think he's been reassigned?
Well, he is on administrative leave, but he's still, he's reassigned to home, basically, is how they do it, so.
And again, if you would pronounce his name.
Gohegan,
Gohegan.
yeah.
What can you tell us about last night's victim, age, background?
Oh,
Was he injured at all?
he was not injured.
We don't, actually,
I don't have that right here.
we don't have it handy, and we'd probably be a little bit circumspect in revealing victim information. I can convey to you that he told officers at the scene that he felt that there was a weapon pressed against his back, and he related that the suspect said he was going to kill him, and that he in turn felt that he was in fear for his life.
No age right
Actually, I don't have that available, and when we're able to release it, we certainly will.
And does the suspect list, not the suspect list, but the list that you're going to hand out with the trends and so forth, will that at least give us the time of day, the location, and the victim, meaning male, female, or something like that, so we can identify who are the victims?
It gives the time of day, it gives a general location, general description of the suspect. I don't know if we have the victim's description on there.
I don't believe so.
We can get
Yeah.
us that information, we're just trying to add a little bit more.
Sure.
to this,
Let us take a look at that, and we'll give it to you with all deliberate speed. We obviously tend to err on the side of protecting victim information. You know that. But exactly. Why don't we work that up and see what we can provide to you. But the matrix you're going to receive has the location, date, time, general location, I mean pretty precise, but general location, date, time, suspect description, suspect clothing description. whether a weapon was used or displayed, and then the unique nature or MO of the incident. So it's fairly detailed, but the only thing I think that is missing of interest to you all is a general bit of information about the victims. So let's see if we can provide it. Pardon me?
How old is the other suspect, the one that was apprehended?
I believe he's 25, but again, that hasn't been formally confirmed yet either.
Clark, not to belabor the point, but for folks that aren't as familiar with the protocol of police use of force and may question whether it was necessary to shoot somebody as they're running away from you, can you help us understand where that decision-making comes and why you would feel that
Certainly.
this is appropriate?
As a matter of law that has been validated by the Supreme Court in a decision called Tennessee versus Garner, police have the authority to use deadly force against a fleeing felon where that individual presents a clear and present danger to the community. There are other kind of factors that go into the ability or the right or the legal authorization to use deadly force in those circumstances. But the bottom line in this case is, both by state statute and by the Supreme Court decision and by the policies of our department, a fleeing felon who represents a continuing threat to the community may be apprehended through the application of deadly force.
And does the fact that it was a paint gun, does it make it thorny for you?
There was absolutely no knowledge of it being a paint gun until after the fact, and the officers involved had every reason to believe that the individual that was committing these robberies was armed with a deadly weapon.
So in any of these cases, do you know if a weapon was used, a gun? Do you think it was the paint gun in every single case?
Actually, we don't know that. It's conceivable that this may have been the only paint gun incident as well. There may have been other weapons involved. There may have been other circumstances. And again, now I have to put on my, this is an investigation hat, and